Well folks, welcome back to the workshop. Today we've got a box of stuff on for repair. And I say box of stuff because it's a mystery box. Found it in last week and it's time I opened it to see what needs to be fixed in it. Let's get under here and see what's in her and see what we can fix. Yeah. Grinders. And all Hitachi. Or Hikoki now as they are. Right, let's see what we can do with this lot. We'll start small. Just missing a top nut anyway. And a plug. Turning free. She's a 110 volt. I'll just check the obvious one. The brushes are still good. Yep. Next thing after that is the lead. Let's see what that's like. Not a lead either. We'll close her, put a plug on it, and see what she does. There's no note with us at all. No note in the box. Nobody's rang to say it was been sent in. I'm not even sure who it is that owns us. I don't actually know what's wrong with us. Could be nothing wrong with it. Might just need a plug to all I know. Or it could be burnt out. Before we do anything, let's give it a quick test and see if it runs. The only thing about it is this lead's very, very short and it's gone all hard. So maybe it could do with a new lead. Test it first, see if it works. There we go. That's a very simple one to start off with. So technically, it just needs a plug. As soon as we're at it, we'll just change the lead. This one, it's just too short. It's not really very practical. Four meters of H07 cable will leave this thing a lot more comfortable to use. Now these ones here have a soft start built into them, and they're just wired onto the leads here. Makes it a wee bit more awkward to change the leads, just awkward, nothing more. And these leads were either changed before or swapped over. Not the factory fitted connectors. We have the live over on the right. Lift up the speed control and we can get to the lead underneath. Try to keep as much wire as possible for this here wee soft start. Handy wee feature, but when it comes to changing the cable, they don't give you much to play with. So whenever you run out of cable, whenever you run out of length, you'll have to cut this out. back in. Wire this up. The good thing with these Hikokis, even these little cheap and cheerful grinders, the lead they come with, a wee skinny thing, but they fit a bigger grommet, so whenever you put on a bigger cable, it fits no problem. You don't have to replace the grommet as well. Now, there's your runs. And that's her. The only other thing I'm going to do is get a nut for it. So it only had this back flange. Now the nuts can sometimes cost up to €5 for these. So a second hand one will be just fine. Free is better than a fiver. That's her. That's one done. Pick a bigger one this time. Again, that lead's been changed. So I put on an even heavier one. Again, very short. And again, no top nut. I don't think that's the right back flange either. It's a bit slack, but it'll do. Now that's very free. I would say the brushes have been taken out of this. Yeah. No brushes. Question is it burnt out or not? Not on there either. Right, a little bit black in there. See how black it is, but you can also see just halfway down there's a smooth spot. That's where the pin popped out. I rubbed on the com bar. So it's not to say I did something wrong and I pulled the brushes out to see if it was gone. I'd say they pulled the brushes out because the brushes had popped. Now, these are the brushes. This is actually for the G23SC Hikoki grinder. That's the brush number 59. My bearings should be alright, because this is turning fairly free. There's no bad sounds coming out of it, so it should be alright. I'm not going to change the cable. It only needs a set of brushes. Simply because Like the last one, this is a good big thick heavy duty cable. There's nothing wrong with it apart from it being a little bit short. But I will put on a nut if it runs okay. A wee bit of a rattle out of it. We'll just check the bearings just in case. There's not much of a sound, but there's a wee bit of vibration. It's on here now, may as well send it back right. These are not the most expensive grinders in the world, so you wouldn't want to be spending a fortune on them. Sometimes you can pick these up with a 4.5-inch grinder for the price of a cheaper Makita. So don't go spending big money on it. That's not right anyway, but the motor's still good. Keep some like dirt and grit out of the gearbox. That's good. Take us out and see. Doesn't sound good anyway. There's the problem. There's where the growl's coming from. That bearing. Need to change that. And we'll also change this one. There's this one on the bottom. It's a 6000. The top one. It's a 6301. That's an LFB. It's not a big name brand, but still a brand. And they're good, decent sized bearings for a 9-inch grinder. That's one. Bearing sits under this rubber sleeve. It's very easy to fit. Before you put it in, get your gear back on top. Now I'm only cleaning that grease off that nut to make it easier to put on. Doesn't matter about strength, it's not going to come undone because there's grease in it. Clamping force holding this down is actually going to keep it locked on. Do it nice and gently and don't cross the threads. Should slide on nice and easy. Not going to put any more grease in that because there's loads on it. Make sure your brushes haven't popped back in, and you break them, putting the armature on, make sure they're still out. Now we can put them on. What does she sound like now? Much better. And just like the last one, I'll just see if we can get a second hand nut for this as well. Plenty of second hand ones lying around here, so I always just stick on a second hand one instead, unless somebody asks for a new one. If nobody asked, that's what I stick on. Does the job. Anyway, that's number 2 up and running. Next we'll go with another 4.5. This is an older one because it is Hitachi, not Hikoki. It's going to need a lead anyway because that's broke, and it did actually have a plug this time. At least this one has a nut. Nothing. I was going to say it could be brushes, but it's not. It's burnt out. These 2 segments here, so they're darker. That's gone. Doesn't matter about brushes. Only a little bit worn. They're not that old. That ain't going to be fixed. Armature's dear enough for them. Add on a cable as well. It's too expensive. So with that, it's just a no-go. Out of the cable. So that's another G12STX. Same as the first one, just the Hitachi version, not repaired. Another big one. Just one more 9-inch one to go after this. And that's not worth fixing either. It's blowing a segment in the armature. It's not oil either. 2020. Same as the other one. Hikoki G23SC. Yeah. I'll just pull it out to see the damage. Somebody's been at this before. It's a different screw. Wow, look at that. She is well cooked. All burnt back here. Actual windings have come out up here, look. Folded up over. She's totally gone. Even the wee spacer bars broken and burnt off. She was totally shorted out there. That segment there has been blown. If you go to the other side, same thing. She's actually blew out the segments. They're raised up. See how high up they are. So they'll just be acting like a file. Whenever that was running, they started blowing out. Would have just eaten away the brushes on in a few seconds. Totally gone. Actually blew the windings out of here too, look. That one's very bad. I would have put on a big light show for the boy using that when it blew. He would have known that was gone anyway. Just for a bit of crack, we'll just see what price this is. So, to buy the armature on its own, just as it is, plus you would need a set of brushes as well at another €15. The armature on its own costs €70 to buy. The grinder to buy in the shops cost around about €130. With one of these here 4.5-inch grinders along with it. To buy that on its own without the 4.5-inch cost about €80 for that grinder. That kind of money, it makes no sense to actually replace one of these armatures. You can buy the machine for as cheap as the one part on its own. Plus you have to remember you have to have a markup and VAT to put onto that as well. So fixing it is going to be more expensive than buying a new one. What you would do there is just buy a new one, take the armature out of it and charge the person maybe a quarter of the price to make it worthwhile doing. Then at least you have all the spare parts for any machine that comes on then in the future. You don't have to wait for them to come on. That's what I would generally do. But for this, it's not going to be worth fixing. Not going to be buying a grinder just for an armature out of it. The customer's going to be better off just replacing the whole grinder on its own. They're that cheap, they're not worth fixing. That is just this model of grinder. Don't be taking me up wrong and thinking I mean all Hikoki grinders. This is a very light one. This is what, 2000 watt grinder. You also get the bigger ones in, which is like the G23ST3 or something, or SC3. The ones that go on to the big wall chasing machines. They'd be like a 2500 watt machine. They're a lot more heavy duty and a lot more expensive. They might be more worth fixing. These here small ones, they're so cheap to buy you wouldn't fix it. Unless it's just something like a lead or a set of brushes or bearings. That's about all you'll do to it. But it's also not to say that it's not a very good grinder. I still get these in after they've done a terrible amount of work. And they're still running. They might be cheap, but they definitely do pay for themselves. So that one, again, not worth fixing. Now, question is, can the last one be fixed? Again, there's an older one. That's Hitachi. It actually looks like one of my numbers. Maybe this was on here before. This is a G23SC. Can't make out the year in this one. She sounds okay turning. But does she switch on? Hell was that? Get a squealing noise down here in the handle. What was somebody doing here? See, when they changed the leads, messed up the wiring lot. Well, they just squashed it against the side. Don't think they damaged anything. Right, lead's okay. Might put a little bit of heat shrink onto them cables just in case. Not very short as well. And there's the problem. Handle's on wrong. That's why. It's meant to fit it like that. Right, that's okay. Tidy up these leads. We'll see what the problem is. It's not looking good. That is the problem. That brush is all burnt up. That's why she wasn't running. Take a peek at the armature and see what it looks like. Right, she looks bad, but she might be okay. Mind you, she's very bad there. That mightn't be alright. Right, on that note, we'll put a set of brushes on. Plus, looks like the bearing's gone up in here, which has been confirmed by the actual rubbing on the armature. Chance a set of brushes and see what it runs like. This was on here before. 28th of the 6th, 2023. Over a year ago. Just put a wee patch job on these wires. Just in case there's anything showing. cap as well. Now, all shear on. No. Right. What does that mean then? Yeah, waste of time. The field is gone, and if the field is gone, the armature is looking a little bit burnt. The bearings appear to be gone. It needs brushes as well. There ain't really much point in fixing it. Should have checked that to begin with. This is just not going to be worth it. Just going to have to cut the losses and leave it at that. There's a bit of time wasted on it, but if we go any further, it's going to cost too much to fix. Plus I'm putting even more time stripping the whole thing again and doing even more work again to replace a field. It's going to be quite expensive. So that it's just going to have to be a no-go. At least we didn't change the bearings on it. Would have been good to get it going again, but not at that kind of money. So that is just not going to be worth it. Sadly, we were only able to fix 2 out of the 3. Still, 2 is better than none. Thanks for watching, folks. Give us a wee like and a follow if you're liking the videos. Cheers. Thanks for watching.